Hi. So this is the first week. Going to give you some little short things to do, like lunges. Like I said, your hamstrings, big muscle in the back of your legs. That's very important for when you do forward bends. The tighter this muscle is, the less flexibility you have. So the more flexibility here, the looser your hamstrings are, the more you can forward bend. Okay, so lunges are pretty simple. Start out hands and knees. This is called hands and knees. So my knees are under my hips. So not like this, or not like this, but the knees are under the hips. So my legs are making basically a 90-degree angle. And my hands are basically under my shoulders and on the edge of the mat. So step forward with the right foot, and this is a simple lunge. Keep this knee on the ground for now. And this is called pointing your toes, and this is called tucking your toes. Like when you tuck in your shirt, you tuck in your sheets, when you make your bed, you tuck the toes, or you point the toes, as you'll see. So you can start here, and don't move around too much, but you want to just see how that feels. And then from here, it's good to do both sides. Do the other side first, the same thing, right? And you'll notice probably with this or many other poses, when you do one side and the other side, that there's a little difference. That's normal. Everyone's bodies are different. I twist more easily to the right than the left. That's just the way it is. So don't worry if one side feels a little bit different from the other when you do these kind of stretches. Okay, so now that's a simple lunge with the knee on the ground. And now we're going to tuck the toes and lift and try to straighten the back leg. So you're pushing through the heel, right? So I'm pushing through the heel right here. And that will help to lift the knee and straighten the leg. And you can feel that stretch deep into your mudari, or your calf muscle. And you want to try to keep your back straight also, so don't drop your head, so that your backbone and your head and your leg are kind of one straight line. And then from here, I like to maybe go back a little further, but bring the knee almost touching, and then the knee on the mat, top of the foot, and now you can really drop your head and just totally relax your neck and let the weight of your head drop. Okay, and then we'll try it again the other way. So hands and knees, bring the left foot forward between the hands, tuck the toes. Okay, and now we're going to lift, push through the heel, straighten that leg, lift the knee. Don't let the knee, you don't want this. You want to keep pushing through the heel so that leg is straight and strong. And try to have a straight back. Don't drop your head in this one. So the more you push through the heel, the more you feel the stretch in your calf muscle. And you can feel it opening up the hips and the hamstring. And then you can maybe send the foot back just a little more and drop so the knees almost touching. And then knee and then top of the foot. And relax the neck, drop the head. You really feel this in the right hip. And then go back, and we're going to rest. It was called child's pose. So sit back on your knees. Close your eyes. Just surrender to the energy. All right, so again, this is called child's pose. This is a very common resting pose between poses. So if we're doing things like downward facing dog or the lunges we just did, so when you finish, you always have to have time between the poses to let the energy rebalance. So in this case, when you're here, you can just come back into child's pose. Either hands like this, arms like this, or like this. Whatever feels better for you. Like if I'm doing a like downward facing dog, so I'm using my arms. Generally, I like to then come down and not use my arms in child's pose, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, and let's see. So when we're also doing poses, if we're doing things on our backs, so I'll show you the easy way to come up when you're lying down so you don't strain your back at all. So if you're lying down, when you come up, if you come up like, it's kind of awkward. So instead of doing that, if you just, like when you were in kindergarten, just roll back and let the weight pull you forward like that. Maybe it takes one time, you might need to do that a second time, but let your feet go forward and then go back. And you naturally come up to a seated pose with no strain on your back. Magic. And let's see, one more thing. So at the end, we always do the corpse pose, which is very difficult. It's this. So it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. It's a pose, like any other pose. So my feet, I'll come around and adjust you guys in this pose often. I'll have your feet, I'll touch your feet or your shoulders, but feet are out to the side. So kind of straight, legs are straight, as wide as your hips. Let the feet roll to the side. And then you have the backs of the hands on the floor. And I know we're not in a gymnasium, the floor is not so clean, so if you don't want to put your hands on the floor, that's fine. You can just rest them on your chest. But to come out of the corpse, because we'll stay here for like 5 minutes or longer with our eyes closed. So to come out, you want to come out again, keep that nice feeling. You don't want to lose that, right? That's called sattva. We'll talk about that Thursday. So to come out of corpse pose, first just bend your knees, bring the feet to the floor. Just take a moment. And then when you're ready, you can shift your hips to one side and kind of roll over like kindergarten. Put your hands on your head like this. Stay here for a moment. And then to come up, you take the top hand and just push yourself up. So take your hand and push it into the mat and come up to a seated pose. Namaste, as they say. Thank you. That's what that means. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could tell you for this.